encounters spooks and demons.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Thriving in Chaos. I'm your host, Rebel Phoenix. With me, as always, is my awesome co-host, Stella Rune.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Now that it's stopped torrential downpouring outside.
Yeah, yeah, it seems like I get hit with all the storms and then you get them after me, so you're welcome for that.
Stop passing me your sloppy seconds, please. Thank you.
Oh, you know you love it. Don't act like you don't. We'll just keep them all in the family here.
I
It's
guess.
okay.
Do what you got to do, I guess.
Yes. Speaking of doing what I gotta do, we have some exciting announcements today.
We do. I
We
love your
do.
transitions. You're so good at this.
It's why I'm hoping they start paying me the big bucks eventually. Just
It's
saying.
a gift.
Hint, guys. We do take donations and bribes. Just saying. You
Or
can
you could
find
just click our
Cash
fun
App,
link.
PayPal, Venmo. It's all on one of my profiles somewhere.
It's somewhere.
But speaking of the people that are actually paying us, we have partnered with some sponsors.
We have.
We are now the proud partners of Century PC, who can supply you with all your software needs for business, family, school, whatever. They help with content filtering for the little ones. They help with business. Check them out. Show them
Yeah.
some love. Show us some love.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're fairly cheap too, so
Yeah.
it's a
I was
one-time
checking
fee.
out. Yeah, I was checking out their pricing for even for businesses. They do offer subscriptions, and it's like minimal for yearly for
Mhm.
what they provide you. I think it's like up to 50 people or something for
Mhm.
1,500 or something like that.
Yeah, you can buy so
So
many licenses.
yes, that is definitely a big selling point for them.
Yeah.
So we're really excited to be partnered with them. Our link for them will be in our description of this video. We are also partnered with Innovative Extracts, which everybody's going to love because anybody who loves the glorious plant product of marijuana will enjoy the CBD
Yeah.
effects that come from it.
Yeah.
So, Innovative
Especially if you
Extracts.
like not getting the THC effects.
Exactly. This is all the medical properties of the marijuana without the high or the THC that would
Right.
affect you in any
Right.
way. So this is, they specialize in stress relief, pain relief, and sleep.
Yeah.
Give them a check out. They're actually offering 15% off for new subscribers and new newsletter subscribers. So definitely check them out because you can get a discount your first time.
Yeah.
And we are also partnered with.
So we are also partnered with they are called Mythic Print Masters. And it's a mouthful for me and I always mess it up. If you
That's
can
what
check
she
out their
said.
website, if you check out their website, it is mythicprintmasters.com. They specialize in 3D printed items. They are really cool. They use beautiful filaments, so everything they print turns out beautiful. And they also take custom orders. So if you have something custom you wanted to print, you just shoot them an email or whatever, and they're happy to work with you. If they can do it, they absolutely will. And then the other thing is I wanted to mention our merch, which is still up, obviously. If you can see, Rebel is wearing our awesome Rebel Phoenix sweatshirt. Um, she said it was super comfy.
You know you want one.
They actually turned out beautiful. Not that I'm surprised. I designed everything myself.
Toot that horn.
But they are through a third party. Toot toot. They are through a third party printing website called Printful. So you can find them at thrivinginchaos.printful.me. There are mugs, there are tumbler cups kind of shaped like a Stanley cup. I think that's 25 ounces. There's t-shirts, one for each of us, one for Thriving in Chaos. There is also a hoodie for each of us as well. I am working on new products all the time. If there's anything anybody wants to see, I'm happy to take suggestions on what to make.
And
So,
we
yeah.
will also put the link for that in our description, along with Century PC and Innovative Extracts. And
Mythic
now
Print
that
Masters.
and Mythic Print Masters. And now that we have all the business done up front, we can bring the party from the back
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
introduce our guest for tonight.
Uh,
So he came to us through Anthony, our
Yeah.
lovely Killer Pizza director, and he will be another actor in the film. But he is also known for about 28 other films, with 22 of them being horror films. So
Absolutely.
we had to have him on Thriving in Chaos, because it
Yeah.
doesn't get more chaotic than horror movies.
And I was
So
checking
without
out his IMDb earlier, and I was like, "Oh, this is way, way full. Like, there are so many movies listed. It's really cool."
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Anyways, keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Anytime somebody has an IMDb that's more than like 2 or 3 things, I get very excited because it's like you kind of start to build like a rapport and like a consistency in the movies, and I love this so much.
Most definitely. So without further ado, let's welcome to the stage Mr. Robert Kennedy.
Hey, everybody.
Hello,
Hey, how are
hello,
you?
hello. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Welcome to Thriving in Chaos, our
Awesome to
daily
be here.
lives.
Been waiting for a couple of weeks for this. This is great.
Somebody excited to see us? Oh, we love you already. Can we keep him?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll keep them all of our guests. Every guest we've had has been great.
Awesome.
He can totally just be our new Thriving in Chaos mascot. Really?
Masker. I'm a masker.
He's a mascot.
I'll just invent my own positions, okay? You can be the mascot.
She does that. She makes up words sometimes. It's funny. And then she denies it.
You stay out of this. Nobody asked you, Stella, but
Just
he
saying.
can totally, since you're going to wear the Stella Rune merch and I'm obviously wearing the Rebel merch, he can wear our Thriving in Chaos merch and just walk around,
There you
Everybody
go.
can see him. Make sure you wear it on set every time you film.
Yeah, I want to grab one of those Killer Pizza t-shirts though. I
Add
think
it
I
to
saw
my
those somewhere.
wardrobe. Yeah,
There
they're
you go.
pretty cool looking. They actually have cast and crew specific shirts they made for us, which is that's a first.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look at those websites a lot and debate on which ones I want to buy, but then I'm like, but I could buy this, but then for a little bit more, I could buy that, but then really I should just get that.
You
And
just
then,
fight with yourself.
before you know it, my cart is up to like $3,000. Just saying.
Right.
That always happens.
I'm like, but I could be a producer on this and get credit, or I could just pay $500 more and be an executive producer.
Exactly.
And I'll just pay $1,000 and take over directing. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I love that that's like an option is to like basically buy your way into the movie business because it's kind of a fun way to start.
Yeah, that's how I started actually. I retired from the post office at 59
Nice.
and said, you know what, I got to find something to do. And I always wanted to do it. And I'm a little old to be taking acting lessons and going to auditions in New York and LA to be told to get lost. So to get my foot in the door, I did a few Indiegogo perks. And then from there, made connections and off we go.
Nice.
I've done like I said, 28 movies since 2021.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of along the same lines as self-publishing. Like nobody wants to work with you unless you're already famous, but
right.
They'll help you once you get famous, but you got to get famous all on your own.
Exactly.
Just like the same concept as not being able to get a job unless you have experience, but you can't get experience unless you have a job.
Exactly. That drives me crazy.
Catch-22.
Yep.
Yeah.
You run into it when you're 18 and you still run into it when you're in your 60s. Trust me.
People don't understand that either. Just because it happens when you're young doesn't mean it stops happening when you're older.
Exactly.
Just the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, aside from Killer Pizza, do you have any upcoming projects you're working on currently?
I've just filmed last week in Kentucky, uh, Christmas anthology horror comedy called The Naughty List. I'm in
Oh, that's
the.
I'm on it.
That's her
It's gonna
backyard.
it's gonna be wild. It actually leans into the comedy more than the horror, but there's definitely some gore to it.
Oh, I love
And
that.
I've got Crimson Harvest coming up in about a month. The Desperate in September with Chase Dudley, who just did Broken Innocence, and Blood on the Bleachers is coming out soon. Another movie I did, A Hard Place, is going to be streaming May 25th, I think.
What platforms?
Ooh.
I don't have a list yet. I don't
Gotcha.
have a list for that yet, but we had Felissa Rose in that, Lynn Lowry.
Oh,
Oh.
I love Felissa Rose. I've been in love with her since Sleepaway Camp.
I know, right? Me too. My first crush, and it was a guy apparently, but still, there's nothing wrong with that.
Not
No,
in today's
there's
society.
No.
Back then, maybe.
Yeah,
That's true. Maybe.
yeah,
Well, it
yeah.
depends.
She's awesome.
Depends. Maybe not. Depends on the people that you surround yourself with.
Well, that's true.
I mean, am I the only person, like, this subject is reminding me of another movie that I did not realize the concepts behind until I got older. But, like, where, back in the 80s for, like, Sleepaway Camp to be technically transgender,
Mhm.
because it ended up being a male dressed as a female.
Right.
She pulled that part off beautifully.
Oh
Nobody
yeah.
else could do it.
No.
But that kind of subject was taboo back then, especially because if I remember, there were scenes in there where her father was gay and
Yeah.
had a male lover also. So that added to it. And then the one that I'm thinking of was actually A Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Ew.
And for the longest time, I never put it together that the main character was Jesse was actually gay
Yeah, I didn't.
until so many years later. Then I
Me
was like,
too.
oh my God, Nightmare on Elm Street like cornered the market for gay advertisement.
And
Like they made it okay for cinema.
exactly. And did you know there's a documentary about him and the making of that movie?
I did not.
It's streaming. I can't remember where, but I have it in my queue, and I'm going to watch it. I don't know if
You will
it's
have to let
Shudder
me
or
know.
where it is, but it's it's actually a documentary about the making of that movie and the actor, I believe. I don't know how old it is. I don't think it's very old, but I was surprised to see that. I'm looking forward to watching it just to.
Yeah.
Now I have to track it down because I have to watch it.
Yeah,
But like it never dawned on me because in the movie there were scenes where Jesse was sort of in the process of being intimate with Lisa.
mhm.
But it never occurred to me why it never went farther than it did until I was so much older.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. This girl got to live because number one, she was no threat and she was in love with Jesse, but he knew Jesse wasn't in love with her. He killed Brady, which is who Jesse was in love with.
Right.
And yeah, I was like, oh, wow. I saw it on like a YouTube show that did like, top 10 plot twist movies or something of all time. I think it was like Watch Mojo or something I'm subscribed to. But I saw that and I was like, I'll be damned. I never knew that.
You get to the
But
point
now
you're like,
it all
hold up.
makes sense looking back.
Oh, that's funny.
But I mean, when you're like 7 watching things like that, you don't put
don't
those
think
things together.
Nah, you're
But
just waiting for Freddy to scare you and kill somebody.
I think
I think you have to get older to see all that
appreciate it.
stuff. It's
See a
like I've
different
always
perspective.
said to my kids with music. You just listen to music until you're in your 20s or even your 30s. Then you start paying attention to the lyrics and you realize it's not just a song, they're saying something, And I think movies are the same way.
No,
not
I
to that
agree.
degree, but you watch a movie. Then when you get older, you
you can
see the
appreciate
movie.
all the allegories and metaphors behind those, like the Chronicles of Narnia being an actual play on the Bible, and Aslan
Right.
being representative of Jesus and dying for our sins when he committed none, or
Yeah.
you know, even music, like you were saying, there's a lot of music that we were bumping to when we were kids, but now that we get older, we're actually
Right.
listening to the lyrics and we're like, "Oh my god.
Well,
How
that's
do
There's
we
one in
how did we listen
particular.
to this?"
like so many youngsters, as I call them now that I'm an oldster. Stuff like Alice in
Me too.
Chains, and they don't they didn't realize how dark that music is.
Mhm.
They're banging their heads to it, and it's like,
Like, are you actually listening to
th-
this?
this is a guy that's dying, and he knows he's dying, and he's killing
Mhm.
himself with drugs, and he can't do anything about it. It's
Oh
like
yeah, that's Juice
that
World
stuff
for
is
sure.
so deep, and it's until you get
That's
older,
definitely Juice World.
you don't realize it until you get older.
Right.
I
It's
mean,
There's one
like
like
in
even Jack and Diane
yeah,
was
Oh,
like that.
yeah. Yeah. When so, Rebel, you're just a little bit younger than me, so you might remember the song. The song Too Close, but I think it's like Next or something like that. Do you remember that song?
Maybe if you said how it went, I'd remember. I don't remember
It's
it off the top of
literally
my
the
head.
entire song is he's talking about how she's dancing too close to him, like in an intimate way.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
so like how she's dancing
Re-
too close to him, but and
You're
like,
making
you're a
yeah.
kid, you're making it hard for me is exactly the line. And you're like, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, that's funny because it's like she's too close to making him uncomfortable. And then you're like, you get to be like 30 and you're like, what was I listening to at 13, 14 years old? Hold up. You played this at my high school
Or like
homecoming? Like, we are minors, sir. Um, it's funny because
there
like you don't
was
realize it until you're way older.
I think if I remember correctly, a while back there was a lot of controversy over the Robin Thicke song
Mm-hmm.
yes,
too,
Yeah. Yeah. But they're
because
all, a
it
lot
was
of
like
music
all
is
about
like that.
drugs and yeah.
Yeah.
but then you
Yeah,
get
and that's the problem. A lot of
right.
music is like that.
And see, and then that's kids, but then you get with adults, you get back into the PMRC hearings with Tipper Gore having a conniption fit about Twisted Sister and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And their songs they're not about the devil. They're not about,
No,
you know,
the Beatles.
listen to the song, listen to the lyrics and understand them before
Yeah.
you be going to the Supreme Court about stuff.
Well, it's like the whole thing with like the Beatles and Helter Skelter and how like,
Yeah,
oh, if you play this song backwards, that's not real. That's
no,
somebody reading too far into it and
yeah,
taking it to be what it isn't.
right.
Yeah, that's somebody with way too much time on their damn hands. That's what that
Exactly.
is.
Exactly.
Exactly. Nobody with anything better to do than to overanalyze music to play it backwards.
You know it's got to be somebody on house arrest because they ain't got shit else to do.
Exactly.
You can't even go to the
They
grocery
can't.
store.
They can't go nowhere. They can't do nothing. They're sitting
They-
there with the binoculars out the window staring at the neighborhood because they ain't got
Ugh.
nothing else going on.
They've watched everything on Netflix
That's
and
them
Hulu.
people that went down and got to take everybody else with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My misery loves company. Thank
Yep.
Yeah.
you.
Just leave my entertainment alone. I only get so much time to enjoy it.
Right.
Right?
Don't
each
mess
his
up my
own.
music. Yeah. Yeah. And it's this whole environment of like everybody getting like attacked based on like something so silly that happened in like music or movies, and it's like you can't say that, you can't do that. Okay, then don't watch it. Like
Exactly.
tell
Well,
your
if that's
friends like this is what I thought.
Going back to the
I
50s,
mean,
turn the
if that's the
channel,
case,
turn it
Yeah.
on.
Exactly.
You don't have to watch
if
it.
that's the case, why do we have freedom of speech if we're not allowed to say? If we can't
Do
say
we
it,
have freedom of
why do we
speech?
have the?
Yeah, not like we did a few years
We don't
ago.
have freedom of speech. You can't say anything anymore.
I know
And it's
that's why
getting
I
worse.
don't understand why it's still part of the Constitution if we're not even upholding it.
Right.
Yeah.
It should be an addendum that says freedom of speech if we agree with you.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as 51% says it's okay.
Did you guys see
Pending
that there's
review.
a bill in like Minnesota or something. Sorry, Minnesota, if that's not you guys. But something about like if you say something, if you have a reaction to a certain politician and it's like a bold reaction, they're trying to get it put into like the DSM-5, or it's, I don't know how true that is because that's very drastic, but it's like a mental condition. I'm like, no, it's just I just don't like this. I
Right.
don't want to be suppressed. Nobody
Oh
does.
yes,
We've come so far.
yeah.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Yes, clearly you have a mental health disorder called opinionitis.
Right.
Right, right.
It's
Called I
followed by
was raised
opinionated
as
disorder.
yeah. I was raised as an American who was told that I'm allowed to have an opinion that differs from somebody else and we're allowed to discuss those things.
Right.
I'm
And
allowed
I
to be
mean,
passionate.
in all fairness, I got suspended once for having an opinion.
I believe it.
My friend's mom actually she posted something so small on social media and her brother commented and was like, "How dare you? Stop listening to your kid. She's stupid. She doesn't know anything." And it was just like, do you understand? Number one, this is my best friend. I've known her since we were 7 or like in 7th grade. She's she's a smart girl and this is somebody she used to adore. Like this is your family, people who like love you for just being you.
Right.
And that's no longer the case because that he was horrible and he was saying a lot of really nasty things and I was like, how embarrassing as a human to have that reaction. My uncle says some stuff that I don't like, but I don't attack him for it.
Yeah.
I don't feel the same way you do, and I'm sorry you feel that way, but I can understand your point of view.
Right.
My favorite saying is everyone is entitled to their own opinion. What you're not entitled to do is make me agree with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're allowed to not agree.
You know?
It's okay.
I once told someone, although I will admit, I have my debates, I'm not gonna lie about that. I mean, they call me rebel for a reason, obviously. I'm the person you don't want to bother telling to shut up because you already know I ain't gonna. If I want to be heard, I'm gonna be heard.
Be heard.
And somebody told me something one time that first off, it was a conversation that had nothing to do with them. So they did not need to insert their opinion because it
I
didn't
hate
matter
those people.
anyway. But, those are the kind of people I'd like to turn around and tell them if I wanted the opinion of an asshole, I would have just farted. I also
love that.
fart in self-defense. Fair warning.
That's funny.
Just saying. Fair warning. I fart in self-defense, just like a skunk. I may not spray you,
But you might.
but you're gonna know it was there.
Yeah.
No. There's a difference between farting and sharding, honey. I don't shart.
Right.
I fart.
Oh, I know. I know.
I pop, not flop. I pop. I
I've,
don't drop. There's no flop or drop. It's just a pop.
Yeah, trust me. I have kids. I know exactly what you're talking about. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. They probably take after me too. Just saying.
They're funny. But yeah. So your IMDb has like 1 million movies listed, which is awesome. And it looks like most of them are horror movies. Do you prefer horror movies to like dramatic films or comedies? I know you said you have one on here that's more of a comedy.
Yeah. I'm a horror junkie, so yeah, that's kind of where I lean. And I've been killed in more than half of them in many unique ways. But I've done a couple dramas, a couple thrillers. The Desperate, which I mentioned earlier in September with Chase Dudley. That's an action movie.
Oh, cool.
Got Noel G is in it, Dominique Swain. So that'll be different. We're going to actually, hopefully, the budget's going to allow some explosions and gunshots and all kinds
that'd
of
be
wild,
awesome.
crazy stuff, car chases. That's
I
the
certainly
plan.
hope it does.
Yes, we're well on our way. So, and Chase he'll find a way.
It looks
Which
like
is
you
fun.
have a kind of a big role in that movie too.
Yeah, it should be. I think I'm going to be playing a cop or an older detective who either isn't as good as he seems,
Hmm.
or is maybe not as corrupt as he seems, or it's going to be very vague
Oh,
until you find out.
I
So I'm
like it.
looking forward to it. It's totally different from a lot of the stuff I've done.
That's awesome.
So that actually led me to two questions. Well, it's one question that's kind of two parts.
Okay.
So you mentioned that in a majority of your roles, you end up dying off or being killed off.
Mm.
So part one of the question is, have you ever died in the movie or in a movie the same way twice? And part two of the question is, what was your favorite way to die / be killed in a movie?
Okay. Honestly, as many times I've been killed, I don't think I've been killed the same way twice.
Huh.
I've had gasoline
Oh,
dumped
that's
on
cool.
me, set on fire. Ari Lehman, the original Jason, the first Jason, he slashed my throat in a movie. I've been stabbed in the chest. Uh, I'm going to be guillotined in a movie coming up later this
Ooh,
year.
that's
Uh,
fun.
yeah,
Right? He
I
got
don't
all the
think
good stuff going.
and that's what I'm looking for. Just another different way to be killed. An adjacent Friday the 13th fan film I'm in called Neon Fear. Jason takes me out.
I like it.
So
Is that the one where you get your throat slit? There we go. That's the word.
actually, in that one, he lifts me up by the throat and then slashes me, I believe,
Oh,
across
cool.
the chest, and then slams me against a tree. So I don't know exactly what the cause of death is there. There's multiple choices.
Just yes. Cause of death.
Just yeah,
Yes.
cause of death. Yeah,
Just
he won't.
yes.
He won't be in part two. Let's put it that way. Which is the bad thing about being killed in all these movies. It's fun when they find unique ways to take me out, but that pretty much leaves me out of the sequel unless you pull the twin brother or
Just kidding. He's not really dead thing.
flashback kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in all fairness, Dewey's been killed off like 5 times in Scream, and his ass is still coming back.
Yeah,
He's
he's gonna
fine.
be. Yeah, they said he's gonna be in the next one.
Yeah. So they have like the whole original. Well, maybe not the whole original cast, but a good part of the original
I
cast.
mean, at this point, I'm wondering how the hell they're going to bring back a dead guy because, like, they had it listed where, like, special appearances from, like, Billy and Stu and Roman, but, like, Dewey's listed as, like, a main character, number 7. So, how are you going to make him a main character if he did?
Yeah,
Unless you're going to pull the old, oh, we faked his death scenario so
Which
that
is-
might.
people would stop coming after him like they did for Sydney, you know?
Yeah. That's kind of lame.
Or we thought he was dead, but he really wasn't. But they've done that like 3 times now, so I'm curious to see what they're actually going to do to bring him back.
What
But
it seemed like in this last one, they really wanted to get it through to your head that yeah, he's dead. Get
and now
used
they're
to
like,
it.
We
"Oh,
promised.
just
But-
kidding." I feel
So what-
like they're bringing him back because it flopped without him. Like the fans got so mad when they killed him off. Like they just were not going to survive, especially without Nev Campbell on top of
right
it.
without the two of them.
I love Courtney, but she was not good enough to carry Scream 6 all by herself.
Nah, not
No.
at all. Not at all.
No.
Her
She's
character-
lovely, but
Yeah, but her
She didn't have
character is
enough
just
of a
very
backstory
limited.
with the other ones.
Yeah. There's only so much you can do with a news reporter.
right.
I mean, she is involved with the different people, but it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to just keep coming up with stuff for that character.
Yeah. And
Not
she's
to
not the heart
mention-
of the story. So
No.
Right. She's not the heart of the story anymore, where it used to be she was the heart of the story when it was her, Dewey, and Sydney.
Right.
But then she lost Sydney and Dewey, and there was nothing left for her to hold on to
Right.
because
Right.
she really didn't have that rapport with the other characters. They
Yeah.
had just shown up in the previous movie where
Right.
she and Sydney and Dewey have been together for like 30 years now.
Right.
At this point, they're a whole new series of Three's Company over there.
Well, yeah, and Gail's just such a tough character to like manipulate into like what you want it to be because at that point you would just look like you're forcing it, which is
Right.
essentially what you're doing. You're just trying to force the nostalgia from the originals into the new stuff, but like at that point, just let it go.
I
Like
mean,
let
when
her
does it
retire.
end?
Yeah, never.
I was totally fine with
Ghostface
Scream
forever.
4 being the end of it.
Right.
I was fine
Yeah.
with Scream 4 being the end of it. And that's like that's the other thing. Like they brought Kirby back. Why? Like,
Yeah.
is she gonna be the new Sydney? Then why do we keep getting Sydney back? Like, what's
Right.
going on here? They're confusing me with all these recuts.
I saw a couple of the sequels, but like to me, I'm not a big sequel person, so like I will watch the originals and then if I catch sequels, I'll catch them. But I can't follow stuff like that because to me it's not the same and it's no longer surprising, it's not fun. So I
I mean,
just love the originals.
at this point, if we're going to continue with the Scream franchise, can we maybe do a spin-off series with like Maureen Prescott
Yeah.
and the original of how Billy and Stu came to decide to kill her, maybe?
Yeah.
That would be cool. That would be a really cool way to
Because
kind of
I mean, my
continue
other
on.
thing is my other problem with this is the fact that they're bringing back everybody from the originals, but here's the problem: they all died.
Yeah.
Over the
Well,
years.
they're all older now. Like it's been 30 years.
Yeah.
Exactly. How
so
are
how
you
do
going
do
to
a prequel?
explain?
Right.
Well, no, a prequel
Like a
obviously
prequel can't happen because they're too old.
Right.
Well,
So-
I mean, they could get other characters that
Yeah.
are similarly looking
Right.
to them for teenagers, but like
But that's not
Billy
what the
and
hardcore
Stu
fans want.
and Roman are all older. So now you're bringing them back, but you can't explain how they've aged if they died as teenagers
Right.
and
Right.
young 20s.
Because as lovely as Matthew Lillard is,
He's not ageless.
he is not 20 anymore. Like he doesn't look the same. And none of us do. Like he
Well,
I
just
mean, like
does
Roman
not
wasn't a
the same.
teenager, so like he was probably 20s or 30s
Yeah.
when he was the killer. But like Stu and Billy were supposed to be teenagers. Same
Right.
with Mickey.
Yeah.
And so, how do you justify the fact that they died as teenagers, but now they've aged as they've been dead?
Right.
I mean, if you're going to go that route with it, you might as well make them look like zombies instead of
Yeah.
ghosts.
That's they're decomposing, can't you tell?
The one thing we've learned in horror is nobody's ever dead for sure.
Yeah. That is so true.
If they want to bring somebody back, they'll find a way.
Yeah. Where there's a dead body, there's a way.
Grab some of that green
Yeah.
reagent from Reanimator and stick it in Matthew Lillard's arm and he's back.
We just got to get Jeffrey Combs.
Right. Well, that's an added bonus
Oh.
you get if you can get him and Barbara Crampton back. Put them
Yeah.
in the Scream franchise.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that. I don't know.
Speaking
it's
of which,
it's weird to me when they franchise stuff like that. Keep going.
Has anybody besides me ever watched like the TV show Winona Earp?
I did
Hold on.
not. I don't know why. I wanted to. I probably will at some point, but I haven't watched it yet.
I think my
Oh,
daughter
that's
watched
it. That's it. I'm kicking him off the show. He's got to go. No, I'm just kidding. How dare you call yourself a horror fan? Oh,
I
I'm
know,
kidding.
right? There's just so
Oh.
much, especially with streaming. I mean, I haven't watched. There's so many horror series that I haven't watched. It's just not enough time. I'm trying to decide the next one, whether it's horror or suspense. But
Well,
I'm
now
looking
you know
at-
which one.
Yeah, I was torn between The Haunting of Bly Manor and Ratched, but I guess it's going to have to
Oh.
be Winona Earp first.
The haunting ones. They're like that
Actually,
whole
Ratchet's really good
series
too.
is so good. I didn't
Yeah,
finish Ratchet. I watched a couple episodes, but I didn't finish it.
I'd like that one, Ratchet. But I thought it was coming back for more, but it didn't. I don't think.
I
But-
think I might have heard they may be doing a season 2 now.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
They're in discussion, but I don't think it's for sure yet.
Like that's weird because like when I heard Nurse Ratched, like I automatically thought of Dr. Kevorkian, and
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was going to be. I didn't know it was going to be a whole thing of just her killing people. But Winona Earp left me very disappointed as well. So I'm thinking that maybe they're going to reboot the series up from the way they left the movie, but they need to give me something because I'm not happy with how they left it because they killed one of my favorite people.
See, that's what drives me
dare they?
crazy with all the series. Netflix being the biggest example, they'll just cancel a series because the hell with the fans.
Mhm.
We're not spending any more money. Nothing irks me more
No matter how good it is.
than to invest years of my life watching 4 or 5 seasons of a show. And then it's over. We're done.
Yeah.
Forget about it. So one of the things I've been doing is I don't watch anything until it ends and until I know it has an ending.
Yeah.
I
What-
just saw today Netflix canceled 2 more shows after 2 seasons. I don't know
And
what
it's-
they
ones?
are.
It's
Oh.
always usually some of the bigger ones too
Right,
that they
it's
just
the
cancel.
shows that
It's
yeah,
not the ones that don't sell. It's the
Right.
ones that are
that
selling.
people like. Exactly. I mean,
I'm wondering if
HBO
it's like
does the
somebody
same thing.
doesn't want to be involved any longer. You know what I mean? Somebody's like, I don't want to do this anymore. So they just cancel the show rather than recast or cast them out
Yeah,
or whatever.
That's always possible.
Yeah,
You mentioned The
because-
Haunting of Bly Manor. Did you watch the other ones?
I watched The Haunting of Hill House, but I didn't watch Bly Manor or the other one yet.
So-
I don't know.
they're
I couldn't
probably
get into
next.
those.
Oh my God, they're so good. So did you watch Hill House?
Yeah, I did watch Hill House.
I
Rebel,
think
did
that's
you
the
watch
one I
it?
tried to watch.
Oh, you
I think I tried to watch Hill House,
Watch
and
it.
that was the one that kept putting me to sleep.
Push through it. I promise you it's worth it. It's so
I'll
good.
try, but I think I made
Bly
to, like,
Manor's
episode
good, but
2
Hill
or
House is
3.
better. I can't remember what the third one is, but the Fall of the House of Usher. Oh my God, that's the fourth one I think, because I think there's one in between. But I don't know, it might be the third one. Fall of the House of Usher. At first, I was like, "This is weird, and I don't like this," but it's so good when you finish it. It's like I kind of want to just go back and watch it again now that I know what it is in the end, because it's kind of like Hill House, where it's like you know the ending at the end,
right.
and then you kind of want to rewatch all of it. I think my daughter
What
started
are they
watching Hill
on?
House.
Are they on
I wanna
Netflix?
Those
Yeah,
are
yeah.
on Netflix.
Yeah, and it's the same cast every time. It's kind of like American Horror Story, where it's like the same people from each one.
Right.
But it is actually the same people every time. So like American Horror Story, they cast a bunch of different people each season. Which is also one of my favorite shows, but it kind of
me
lost me
too.
after 84.
Yeah, it's the last couple seasons been pretty disappointing. And I hear
The
they're
ones-
not going to do one this year. They're waiting until next year for the next one. So
Oh,
we're going to have to
that's a
wait.
shame. The one that I didn't really understand was when they split the season. The first half was vampires, the second half was aliens.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they
Yeah,
were
the
related
double
because they don't end
feature.
it. Yeah, they don't end it. It just
No.
starts again, and you're like, "Is this the same?" And you're trying to like
Yeah,
figure out
well-
if it's the same thing.
Yeah. It's like,
If I remember correctly, that season didn't really even have an ending to it.
No.
Pretty much left you hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I remember I watched it, but like I didn't understand it, and like I couldn't really follow it because, like you said, it a couple episodes in, it switches to a completely different show, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, so what's going on in this one? But you don't even know what actually finished happening in the first side.
That's just it. 'Cause it's like
I think
you're like sitting there and you're like, when did the president become involved with the vampires?
Right.
And why is she floating? I don't understand.
And then you're waiting as it gets near the last episode for that to come back into the story. And it's just,
And then it just ends and you're like, I don't
Yeah.
understand anything that just happened for the past like 6 weeks.
if I remember correctly, I think that was also like the first season that didn't have Evan Peters in it. And they lost me after that because he was one of my favorite people
they
in the
lost a
entire
lot of
show.
people. And unfortunately, Jessica Lange not doing it anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
she was such an integral part of that show as well.
Yeah, the two of them, and then the obvious other folks. But yeah, Evan is huge to that show, I believe.
Yeah. He basically
love
is
Evan
that show,
Peters.
in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's like
I agree.
doing it without him is just like, it just doesn't feel right anymore.
Well, the reason I read the article, the reason he stopped doing that show is because he ended up getting typecasted to where he wanted to, like, when he originally got into acting, he wanted to do comedic roles and he started in like different comedy shows.
Right.
But then he got cast in American Horror Story, and the longer he did it, the less he
Mhm.
got any other roles that
Right.
weren't horror related. Just
Right.
like after he stopped doing American Horror, the last thing I remember him doing was Jeffrey Dahmer.
Right.
Right
Which,
after that,
which is a
because
real
he got
life horror
typecasted.
story.
I mean,
And
it is, and I don't think anybody else could have pulled off that role the way he did.
Mm-mm.
no.
So I am so happy that he was the one that took it. But now it's like, where'd he go? Because I haven't heard from him since then, and I demand to know what happened to my man.
Well-
I am telling you, that is the one celebrity aside from like maybe Channing Tatum. Just saying, Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg is a big one. He would be a hall pass too. But like my top 3 hall passes are Mark Wahlberg, Evan Peters, and Channing Tatum in that order.
That's
And
funny.
if we're going women, it would be Sherry Moon Zombie and Felissa Rose
Fair enough.
and Mila Kunis.
Fair enough.
Top
This-
3.
this is
I
a
don't even
good
know if I
list.
have a list. I don't think I have a list.
Mine constantly changes.
I feel like mine does too, and I'm like yes and then no and then yes and then no, and it's hard to say.
Like I've
I mean, I've
acted
had the
with
same
Felissa
list for
Rose.
years, so
I've acted with Felissa Rose a couple times. I love her.
I'm
to death.
jealous.
So
Tell her
she's
to come on the show.
I'll see if I can.
Oh, that would be cool.
That
Yeah.
would be amazing. Although I might have another heart attack if I actually got to meet her on my show. So
Please
let's
don't
go
do
for
that.
it.
Maybe we shouldn't.
I make no promises. I make
But
no
yeah.
promises. That's like one of my lifetime heroes, man. I literally wore her face on my shirt during my wedding.
That's
Wow.
funny.
That's funny. Yes, indeed.
I had a
Yeah,
wedding cake full of her kills.
That's a fan
Right.
and an
little bit.
understanding spouse. Yeah,
I might
He's a horror
be
fan, too.
borderline. I might be borderline Annie Wilkes there, just a little bit. Just saying.
I actually saw Misery, the play, 2
Ooh.
weeks ago at the University of Delaware. It was fantastic.
Oh,
And
that's
then, like
awesome.
2 days later, Misery was on TV, so I watched it again. And yeah, I mean, I love Kathy Bates.
Yeah, she's
Oh.
so good.
I love her. I love her.
I'm watching the movie with my wife, and it's like, man, she's so hot. I wish she'd kidnap me and tie me to the bed. My wife looks at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, what? Kathy Bates is beautiful.
Kathy
She
Bates is beautiful, and
is.
she's such a she just seems like such a nice person too.
Did you
Oh,
guys see her 2-season show disjointed on? I think it was Netflix. Canceled that too.
That's one I was looking at and probably won't watch if they left you hanging. And I mean, I'm ragging on Netflix, but HBO does it too. Deadwood,
Yeah.
one of the greatest shows ever. They just leave you hanging at the end of
Stop.
season 3. They were kind enough to come back 15 years later with a movie, which tied everything
How nice of
up,
them.
But really, you know,
I will say though, but then you have shows that like go on forever that need to end, kind of
oh
like
yeah.
so like Grey's Anatomy has been on
I
for like
was just
20
getting ready to
years.
say, like Grey's Anatomy.
Stop. Like at some point stop. Like you should have stopped at a certain point. I stopped watching after Shepard died, and then it was like, so if nobody's seen that, sorry, Shepard dies. But and my daughter started watching
I'm
it,
pretty
which
sure
I
like most of the cast
love,
has
but-
died off.
There's only like
Oh.
3 originals left, I guess.
it's Bailey is still on it, and
Bailey,
Richard is still
Meredith,
on it,
and
I think.
Richard. I mean,
But Meredith wasn't even on the last couple
Right,
seasons, and then
right.
I think she's back now. But
yeah, she's back now, I believe. Yeah,
I'm
my
like,
wife and I hung with it and hung with it and hung with it, and then finally about 3 years ago, we're like, I can't.
same.
Can't.
I'm trying, and I can't because they brought in like Derek's nephew or whatever, and I'm like trying to like watch it, and it's just you get to the certain point, you're just like I can't do this anymore
Well,
because it
once
was really good for a long time.
it was fantastic because I really
Yeah.
don't watch much network television
Same.
because everything's CSI, name the city, Law and
Mhm.
Order, name the crime,
Yeah.
NCIS, pick the town. And
I
then
get
it
down with
just,
some NCIS though.
I mean,
The original.
I'll watch some Law and Order, you know,
Yeah.
but eventually they're just taking the story from one show and they're
Putting
redoing
it on
it on
another.
another show and they're
Yeah.
redoing It's the same
That's like
old thing
literally every
over and
medical show
over and
drama
over.
ever.
Right, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
There's so
I've been
many of
watching
them.
clips of The Good Doctor, and now I'm like, I think I need to go see that because if this show is not the cutest thing I've ever seen, this like very soft-spoken kid who's just like super smart. I'm like, if he's not the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life, like
Is that the one with Freddie Highmore
I
where
don't
he's
know if
like
that's
an
his.
autistic doctor?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like a kid. Yeah, he's like a kid doctor. But he's so stinking cute that you're just like, I would hire him in a heartbeat because he's so sweet.
And he was a great Norman Bates.
It's
Oh,
like a reboot of
yeah.
Doogie Howser.
He was
Yeah.
fantastic.
They tried that. Yeah, he's like so talented. So it's the same thing you're saying with Evan Peters though, like how he got typecast, and I feel the same way where it's like you get typecast those roles because you're good at it. And
Right.
it's
And you're
I get
good
wanting to
and
do other things.
you're paying the bills, man. Why?
Right.
I wouldn't be
Right.
complaining about being. I mean, I wouldn't want to be Gilligan for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to
Yeah.
be Hawkeye Pierce for the rest of my life.
Right.
But if you're going to throw me in 8,000 different kinds of horror roles,
Yeah.
let's go.
Let's
I
do
don't
it.
mind,
Well,
I don't mind a
I think-
genre.
I think on his end, like he was playing some way out there psychopaths, and he said that it started
Yeah.
to really affect him
Yeah.
mentally
I
after
can
so
see
many
that.
years of it.
I could get
I
that
think
too. And
he
he was
said the
also
one-
very young.
And I can see.
I
you
think the one
having,
that he said broke him was Cult.
Oh, that was a hard one. Yeah.
that
That was
was-
hard to watch.
that was
But he was
rough,
so
yeah.
good, it was hard to watch.
Exactly. But again, I guess you play that horror genre all the time and you are Evan Peters. How do you find something new in you
Right.
to bring to a new character in a new
Right.
story? It's got to be difficult just to find something
Hmm.
where you're not just playing the guy from Cult in a different movie. You're not
Right.
being
Yeah.
Dahmer in a different show or
You're not a psychopath
I mean,
every
at this
time.
point,
yeah.
at this point, I would think he's got enough money to retire and say fuck it all.
Oh sure.
But I mean,
Well, I certainly hope
not-
for the rest of us that he's taking his time off to like recoup and revisit what he really wants to do, and then he comes back and he does some really good roles, especially if he gets into comedy. If that's what he really wants to do, because I think he'd be good at that too. I think he's got range. He's just not
He's-
used. He doesn't use his
he-
range.
he was in that movie Sleepover with Alexa Vega,
Yes.
and
Yep.
that was a comedy.
Yeah.
He was great in that. He was hilarious. He plays nerdy dorky perfectly. But
Yeah.
like he I get where he's coming from, but it's so crazy to think how like certain roles can affect somebody that traumatically. I mean, Evan Peters
Well,
ended up
especially-
ended up in therapy because of Cult, and James Marsters ended up in therapy because of an episode of Buffy that he had to do. Heath Ledger died because of his
Mhm.
role as Joker.
yeah,
Jodie Foster was so traumatized from Silence of the Lambs, she couldn't do the sequel. That's why they had to cast Julianne Moore.
right. Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, believe me, I just read the script, memorize my lines, and try to bring something. Just
Yeah.
because I'm not a professional actor. I don't even pretend I am.
I mean, I
But-
feel
but
like
I
at this
can
point you could
see-
probably call yourself a professional actor.
Thank you.
I just
mean,
play one on TV.
Yeah, there you go. But I think like somebody who's been doing this, since school and went to college, went to acting school, and especially if you're method, like some of those
Mhm.
actors who
Oh yeah.
they get into that character and they stay that character
It's
for
hard to
4 months while filming.
it's hard to get
Anytime-
out.
Anytime you pass them to get lunch or you pass them walking to the set, he's not. I don't know who, but just he's not Christian Bale right now. He's that
Right.
character. He's not
Right.
Ray Fiennes right now. He's that character, and they
Right.
don't let that go the entire time they're filming.
Right.
And
Again,
I
even
just,
with Evan
I
Peters,
don't
same
know
thing.
how you do that. I just
I don't know
can't
either.
imagine.
That
don't know
reminds me of Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder. I'm the dude that's playing the dude disguised as another dude. But like
That's funny.
he completely had like a skin pigment alteration to play that role. And like he's talking to Jack Black. What do you mean, you people? And the one black guy on set is like, what do you mean, you people?
That's funny.
That
And then he
movie-
comes out with an Aussie accent, and I'm like, oh, take me, I'm yours. No lie, I once got kicked out of self-defense class for that because they decided, okay, so like it was a women's self-defense class. So of course they're trying to teach you the ins and outs of protecting yourself.
Right.
So, their whole thing at that particular lesson was, the fact that most serial killers aren't who you'd expect. They're not that guy that looks creepy on the street.
Right.
It's the guy that looks like the boy next door that you're
Yeah.
highly attracted to, that functions well in society. So, of course, to simulate our killer, they ask the most yummy Australian campus security guard to be our stand-in killer. Okay, so everybody's like, the teacher's like, if this is the kind of guy you want to watch out for, blah blah blah.
You're like, yes, I do.
Like,
and you're like, yeah,
and
I'm
like,
watching out for that kind of guy.
I perceive. I got kicked out because I proceeded to tell her. I was like, so wait a minute, let me get this straight. He's drop dead gorgeous. He's got a voice that can melt you to butter in an instant, and he can manhandle me. Oh hell, I'll go willingly. Where do I sign up?
This guy grabs you by the throat, and you're just screaming, "Yes, Daddy!
Yes, give me more, please."
Is this your van?
Even care if you. I don't even care if you kill me. Just let the sex happen first.
Yeah. Kill me during.
I'm yours.
Exactly.
Door, the side door, or the back.
Are we just doing this in the back seat? Like, what are we doing here?
I feel. By the time the serial killer got done with me, he'd be the one calling the cops to get him away from me. At that point, I will confess to everything. Just get me away from her.
Like, you asked for this. I thought you wanted.
Yeah, at that point, my instructor was like, "Okay, you're dead. You're out. Bye. Clearly, you don't need to be here because you're just going to die anyway.
You're just gonna go with the murderer."
Pretty much. I'm like, I mean, if you go willingly, then you kind of take all their power away anyway. They want the power over you. They don't want you to go willingly.
Right. You'd probably be
not to mention,
and you could probably just walk away.
Right.
She wanted to.
That's like
she
like,
actually wanted it. I can't even just say that.
Ew, she wanted it.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
God.
Me?
But like,
do you see me?
That also used to be my comeback whenever I got bullied when I was a kid and people made fun of me for being fat. I'd be like, well, at least I ain't got to worry about getting kidnapped. You're the one that's going to end up on the back of the milk carton because can't nobody lift my fat ass.
Protect yourself, eat cake. That's what we're trying to say.
There you go.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
Enjoy your donuts
in that scenario,
with a smile.
In that scenario, which way do you want to go? Do you want to be tortured to death by this murderer, or do you want to eat the cake with the poison in it and die quick?
Look, I'm taking that cake every
Just
time.
saying.
It depends on the flavor.
Just saying. I could think of worse ways to go than cake, guys. Just saying.
Yeah.
I could think of worse ways to go.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. Any one of the ways Robert's been killed in movies is probably way worse.
Yes.
Did you ever die by cake?
Not yet, but that's what I'm going to suggest if they ever ask me how I want to die.
Yeah.
Maybe you can do it in. Oh, you can do it in Killer Pizza, and that'll spawn the sinkhole.
There you go.
Killer cake.
Killer
cake. Dessert.
Dessert from hell.
The only time dessert eats you. Huh? It's a tagline. Run with it. Somebody give me a script writer.
I'm curious to what happened to me in that movie. In Killer Pizza, I'm playing a mafia cleaner, sort of like Winston Wolfe in Pulp Fiction.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that the pizza kills you.
I'm going with that too, and I'll probably be disappointed if it doesn't, because who doesn't want to be killed by a pepperoni pizza? I mean, either the pizza's gonna kill you, or you're gonna be one of those stereotypical guys that's like, oh, my heart, and dies literally scared to death.
Yeah,
the pizza needs to rip a slice of itself off and jam it down my throat. That would be
oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
That'd be my ideal death.
That'd be kind of that would be great and crazy all at the same time. It's almost
just
like
flies at your face and you're like, what? And then it's like, ah.
But then it could possess you that way. If you it could possess you if you eat it.
That's true.
And then you become
the killer pizza.
The killer pizza.
You become the pepperoni partner in crime.
So I get all kinds of acne and
But they're not pimples, they're
the
pepperonis.
pepperonis. Yes, sweet.
Yes.
And they don't like
See,
pus.
and you
Like if
said
you
it's
pop
not
them, it's
filmed
just like
yet,
pizza juice. It's
Might be
marinara
a-
sauce
and
just
it's
popping
not
out.
filmed.
Right.
They
Might be
haven't
able to
filmed
get
it
this
yet.
in-
Anthony,
Is
we
it-
need a rewrite.
Yeah. Or at least I've got an idea for the sequel, one or the
There you
other.
go. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Pizza
I
possession.
mean, pizza,
haven't s-
cake. You can have dessert pizza that marries a cake.
Yeah.
I think you're getting into like seed of Chucky business.
Get the Pizza Hut that one with the cream and the cinnamon and the
Oh, there you
whoever
go.
whoever has that dessert pizza.
Yeah.
It'll be seed of cinnamon.
Cinnamon seeds, everybody. That sounds weird to
Cupcakes
say.
of doom.
But could you imagine if like there were like a pizza marriage and then they had little pizza killer babies?
Don't be surprised if they don't. Like I said, I haven't seen the script, but just the idea, I'm pretty sure anything and everything will definitely go in this movie.
Yeah.
We
Which
definitely
was
just gave
kind of the reason
Anthony
I did
plenty
it.
of rewrites.
But like, when I was looking at it and thinking about it, it's like a mafia guy, a killer pizza. Most of the horrors I've done are pretty serious,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought this has just got to be so over the top, campy, fun.
Oh, I love that.
I had to.
Wait. Are you
I
the
had to-
Italian mob?
I believe so because I named my character Roberto Bones Carbone. So
Oh, I like that.
so
How
whenever I get to
ironic
name
is it that how ironic is it that the Italians die by the hands of an Italian dish?
I know, right? The irony of this movie.
That
But-
gives the slice of Sicily a whole new meaning.
When I get to name my own character, I usually name it after friends. And
Oh.
one of my buddies for like 30 years at the post office, his name's Jason Carbone, so that's where I got Carbone from.
I like it.
And I'm Robert, so Roberto, and my grandfather's nickname was actually Bones, so
Oh, that's fun.
I was able to tie that all in.
I love that.
But like Bill Transu and
Me too.
McCarb Mountain, one of my best friends since high school was Bill. My wife's maiden name is Transu, so I covered 9 brothers and sisters-in-laws with that one. And, I'm Principal Jerry Lamy in Blood on the Bleachers, my best friend since like the 3rd grade. So I always get a kick out of when they let me choose my own character's name.
That's fantastic though,
'Cause I
because it's
always-
cool because you can kind of pay homage to the people who are important to you.
Yeah, and I also did it on Smile from
Oh,
October Lane.
yeah.
Not the big smile, the
No, I know.
smaller smile.
I was about to
And,
say, like, that's
Or of a
my
smirk.
shit.
Right.
I love that movie. I
I know,
I
right?
love them both. Although, is it just me or did the girl in number 2, like, she could be a fucking stunt double for Lady Gaga?
Yeah, I could see that. I could see
Like,
that.
for real.
Yeah.
Hell, Lady Gaga might have been her stunt double,
Yeah,
but
there you go, in
like,
the movie. I have to study the credits. Yeah, but yeah, I always enjoyed it in our version of Smile. I was Jerry Wilmuth, which again is Jerry, my best friend from 3rd grade, and Milton Wilmuth, one of my best friends from the post office. So
I love that. That's really
And-
cool.
in Woods Witch, I was actually with Lisa Wilcox. She's the mayor, and I'm her assistant. And actually, at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, I end up doing my Monty Python Flying Circus Benny Hill moment, wearing one of her dresses and a wig. And, and I hadn't thought of like naming the character after my wife or my mom or something. So I think they just went with my character's name, Doug, in the movie. But I actually had a chance to honor some of the ladies in my life, but didn't happen. But it was
It is
cool.
what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
I
my
love that
friends-
though. I'm such a big like because I'm my father's child. I'm a big fan of like Monty Python, and I've seen all of the Flying Circus. And I mean, it's been a long time, so I honestly couldn't tell you anything about it because my memory doesn't work that way. And Benny Hill as well. So I love that you brought both of them into that and kind of had like
Yeah.
that moment.
Yeah, they had asked me would I mind, because he's not going to do this. Hey, would you mind? Hell yeah, I grew up on Benny Hill, Monty
Yeah.
Python. I grew up on British comedians.
Oh my God, I love British comedy. It's the
Yeah, I
best.
think it's the best.
Oh,
best,
it's like the
best
pinnacle of humor because it's like
yes,
dry but funny, and it's
yeah,
like it's like intelligent humor for the most part, and
yeah,
some of it is just so silly, but also still kind of intelligent. I just
right.
everything
Yeah,
about it I love.
stuff like Faulty Towers and To the
Hmm.
Manor Born and Butterflies. I
Yeah.
love all. My dad always watched them when I was younger on PBS. They were on Sunday nights, and
Hmm.
that's how I started watching them. And yeah,
Yeah.
and I was telling my wife, uh, almost every American sitcom is the American version of a Britcom. All in the
Yep.
Family, Sanford and Son,
Even
Friends,
nowadays with The Office and all of
The
those, and
Office. Right there,
every Office
none
spinoff
of
is
it's an
based on The
original
Office.
Three's
No.
Company. None of those are original Hollywood ideas.
No.
They're all Britcoms,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
hey, fine. I mean, The Office. You got The Office here. Of course, the original. There's an Office on Netflix. I think it's 2 seasons from India, which
Mhm.
I'm going to watch.
Oh, have you seen what's it called? Outsourced, I think.
Not yet.
Yes. I
Yeah,
I,
it
used
was
to love that show.
it was so funny. There's another one. It's a British comedy show.
Mhm.
I didn't know that, and I watched that one too. Oh, Ghosts. That's the other one. I love
Oh yeah,
Ghosts.
yeah,
And then I found the British one, and I was like, oh, this is like it's just as funny.
yeah.
I was like,
Shameless is another one that
Yep.
started off as
Shameless.
British.
Exactly.
And
Uh,
see, I always heard that, like, if you watch the British version first, you'll hate the American version. I watched the American version first, so I hated the British version.
in most cases, I've enjoyed both.
yeah,
Now, like, there's a few shows. Coupling is
I'm
fantastic.
not seeing that.
The American show lasted 4 episodes. I think it was awful. Uh, there's a show called British Men Behaving Badly. It's fantastic.
Oh, that sounds
the
funny.
The American version was okay. It was just called Men Behaving Badly. I don't think it lasted a full season, but I think it had Rob Schneider, and I mean it had a decent cast. It just
Hmm,
didn't catch on.
interesting. There's one show that I love, but it's very specific. So a couple years ago, uh, my ex-husband's aunt had said that she was watching Call the Midwife, so I started watching Call the Midwife, which I love.
I've
Like
seen
that show's so good.
seen it maybe the first season and a half.
It's like Grey's Anatomy, it just goes on forever, but
Yeah.
there's like it's never a dull moment. I love that show. But Miranda Hart is in it. And I was like, "Oh, I love her character." And so I'm like watching her and she's just this like very lovely, she's I forget what her name is. It's something that's like her nickname is something that's like funny, but it's like not it's like unique. But I can't think of what it is. But she's the tall one with the glasses and I love her. I fell in love with her in that show and then I was like, "I wonder what else she's in." And I go to look and she has her own British like sitcom.
Oh, really?
It's called Miranda, and it's
Oh, I've heard of that.
hilarious.
Oh, yes.
It's so funny, and I watch it, and I'm just literally sitting there watching it. I'm like, it's like they wrote a TV show with my life. Like that's me to a T. Like when I'm by myself, like I turned into Miranda. Like it's hilarious. I see so much of myself in her. It's so funny because she's absolutely ridiculous for no reason, just because she can be, and that is literally how I try to live my life, just to my fullest, honest, most silly self.
Have you seen Fleabag? Did you watch that?
No,
Oh my God, it's fantastic.
I'll have
Two
to like look it
seasons,
up.
I think. I think 6 episodes each season.
Is
It's
it another British
fantastic.
comedy?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
It's
I let me write that down. Hold on,
it's
because I don't want to forget.
it's
As soon as
amazing.
we turn the camera off, I'm gonna be
You
like,
gotta.
"What happened?"
I mean,
Like we had a whole conversation. I swear.
Right? We
Yeah,
do. That's how we roll here at Thriving in Chaos.
yeah,
We do want to thank you for being here with us today, Robert. We
I
really
loved it.
appreciate it. You've been an
Yeah,
yeah,
awesome guest. We
thank
definitely
you.
want you back.
I will.
yeah.
Let me know. I will
Hopefully,
definitely be thrilled to come back.
definitely after Killer Pizza premieres or right
Okay.
before
Yeah.
it premieres.
I'd love to
Because
do
I'm sure you're
something
gonna.
with the cast again once it's out and stuff. That'd be
Yeah,
really cool.
I was
Yes.
wondering if you were gonna like do a cast kind of thing. Yeah.
We should do a potluck with the
Yeah,
cast of Killer Pizza, and we can all just order pizza and eat it on camera
On
together
cast.
as we watch the movie.
That would be awesome. That would definitely be fantastic.
That's how we can premiere it to the world. We'll just premiere it here on Thriving in Chaos.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine? That'd be so fun.
Join us for an all-night movie marathon, guys.
Yeah, you could just watch us watch movies for an hour and a half or 2 hours or however long
No,
it
they
takes.
can watch it with us.
Right. You can watch
Yep.
the movie, and they can eat pizza
Ooh.
too.
We could live stream
Yeah.
it, guys. We could live stream it.
Yes.
Anyways,
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Let's get the
For
party
sure.
started.
do the thing.
Nice.
The thing with the
The
stuff.
thing with the stuff.
Speaking of, is there anything you want to leave us with in closing, Robert?
I mean, I covered a lot of my movies and we discussed a lot of things. I just, for the horror fans out there, just please, whenever you can, support indie horror. It's so much fun. It's a great group of people. If you go to the conventions, you know, if you've ever had a chance to be on a set, with all the streaming services, you've got Tubi, Netflix, Shudder, Amazon, Hulu. There's so much great horror out there, and for every low budget indie horror film that is fantastic, there's a big money, big studio Slender Man that is straight up trash waste of $20 million. So give indie filmmakers a chance. Check out their stuff. You might be surprised who you see in the movies, and
For sure.
they can always use your help. Places like Indiegogo, Kickstarter.
Yep.
You can get movies, T-shirts. You can be in the movie.
We actually have links to all of Anthony's current Indiegogo campaigns.
Okay.
So along with all of our lovely links that we're going to put in the description for our partners, we'll also put his links in the description as well. So you guys can check out his campaigns and support his art and his cast.
Yeah.
I've also joined on his web series as well. So looking forward
very
to
cool.
that.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just support indie horror, everybody.
Absolutely.
Support your communities, guys.
Yeah,
support us
exactly.
all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Please, by all means, donate to the Broke Bitch Foundations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am the president and founding CEO of the Broke Bitch Society. Okay. So please support us, support them, support your local communities. We are the people that are bringing you entertainment at our own expense.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, indie horror, I think the first goal of any filmmaker is, God, I hope I break even.
Yeah.
Because there aren't many Terrifiers, Blair Witches that you make for $5 or $10 grand that bring in $25 million.
Yeah, that doesn't really happen that way.
You kick out
it's the exception, not the rule.
Like,
Yes.
I mean, even Jeremy told us that. I mean, he's making a living as an actor, and there's only been a few things, few and far between, that have been really big names that he's been in. Like, I think Gods and Generals was pretty big, and Mallrats is big now.
Right.
And
Mallrats was big when it was out, but it took a little bit for it to pick up speed.
Party of Five was big back in the 90s. Seventh Heaven. Although, thanks to, who was it? Stephen Collins. That's the Netherlands now. That's the Shadowlands symbol. We don't go there.
Yeah.
But I mean,
but it's still out there.
He's been working all these years, but those are the most notable roles that he has. And he says that, you can work a lifetime and still never be part of that 1% club.
Exactly.
And most actors are struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, and have to
just like everybody else.
Yep.
They have to outsource to other jobs to fund their full-time job.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's truer than you think. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Some of the bigger names, not Tom Hanks, but some names you're well familiar with.
Yeah.
They're living day to day too, like a lot of us.
I mean, Nicolas Cage is one of them now. He used to be an A-lister back in the day, but now he's taking whatever he can get.
Right. He's great in all of it.
Yeah. Well, he actually, that was my thing. Like when I said that the other day, he literally pulled himself out of debt by taking every role he could get and he literally gave his fullest to each and every project, and you can really tell that
Exactly.
he actually cares about what he's doing.
It
And now he
might
can
not,
kind of do whatever because he's out of that situation. But
exactly, and it might not be the biggest project ever, but to him, it's
yeah, it's paying the bills because when
he's
you do a job, you put yourself towards it. Like you put
exactly
100%
Oh
into it.
yeah,
right. And if you take your
for
career
sure.
seriously, you're not going to phone it in ever,
Right, exactly.
which a
You're gonna
lot
do
of
your best.
people do,
I
unfortunately.
mean, there's only been a couple things recently that I wasn't a fan of Nick Cage in, like Long Legs and Dream Scenario.
Yeah,
But
but long legs, a lot of people love it. So
I
I
don't
have to see it.
I don't understand it. I don't like it. And I'm not a huge fan of Micah Monroe to begin with, because again, I feel like she always looks constipated in every role she plays. She always plays the role like she's holding in a giant poop. Because her face is always so serious and so emotionless, and her voice is so monotone. She's always like, yeah, blah, blah, blah,
That's
blah.
why I don't like Kristen Stewart is because like her face never changes.
no, she's. I hate to
She's
say anything bad about an actor because boy, you can say
Yeah.
stuff about me, but yeah,
absolutely.
she's a wooden.
Yeah.
That's I
That's a
just
shame.
watched Subservience with Megan Fox
Hmm.
the other night on Netflix, and it's the perfect role for her because she's had so much plastic surgery done, and she has no range, and she's
Yeah.
playing an AI, and
Yeah.
it's like give her the Academy Award. She is so good in this movie because how
I don't
couldn't she
know.
be?
I've liked a couple of her movies recently. I actually liked Subservience, but I also liked her in, I think it was called Till Death Do We Part or
I
something like
loved
that.
her in that one. That might be my favorite movie of hers. I was very pleasantly surprised by that one.
She did a good job as April in TMNT. That's my thought.
There you go.
I mean,
I didn't really watch those because I'm still partial to Judith Hogue. So
oh, I
you know.
absolutely am too. However, she did not do a bad job. But I have a 9-year-old boy, so of course I've watched TMNT.
Right.
Because he was like, I'm gonna watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I was like, oh, awesome. Which one are you watching? Watch Secret of the Ooze. That's my favorite one. And he was like, no. I was like, oh,
Who was your
okay.
favorite Ninja Turtle? Because like mine was Leo in the original cartoons back in the 90s, but like live action, the first two I was in love with Raph, and the third one, Michelangelo, was my favorite.
I love Michelangelo because I love a funny person. Like I love a funny dude. So like I loved Michelangelo, but in the movies, it was like the turtles weren't even my favorite part. As soon as they introduced Casey Jones, I was done with the
Oh
turtles.
yeah, Alias
I was
Cotia.
like, yes, babe. Like just woo, hockey stick every day. Bring it on. Let's go. Casey Jones is where it's at.
Is it Elias or Elias?
I think it's Elias. I don't know.
I don't even know how to pronounce his last name because it's like Koteas. So I'm like, is it Codius or Cotis or
Don't know, don't care. Casey Jones.
Codass?
Yeah, as soon as they brought in Casey Jones, I was like, bye, turtles. Mikey, I love
Anyway.
you, but sorry. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
I've been wrapping this show up for like
I know,
15
right?
minutes now, so we're really
we
gonna
do.
go this
I'll
time.
stop.
We could go on forever. Like that's the problem. All of our guests, we just never want to let them leave. Like we just
Oh.
want to kidnap you and own your soul.
Yeah.
My soul's for sale on Indiegogo. So
Hey, for the right price.
For the right price. We could
Boy,
be
do I
for
got a
sale,
deal for
too.
you.
Huh.
Yeah.
For the low
Anyways.
price of 2 for 1. I'm just kidding.
Hey. Let's get all the money. You can get one of us for this amount and 2 of us for twice that amount.
nice.
And on that note, guys, in closing, we're going to go support our local communities. We're going to donate to the Broke Bitch Foundations.
Yep.
We are going to click the Indiegogo links and donate to our future films that we're discussing here.
Yep.
And on that note, we are out.